So today I am going to be doing an informative briefing on the old standard, which is the current APFT, Army Physical Fitness Test, and the new standard, which is going to be the ACFT, Army Combat Fitness Test. Now, there's a lot of main differences in these and a lot of reasons why the changeover occurred, and that's what I'm going to be discussing today. The current standard is 60 points in each event. Male and female have a little bit different grading scales. Females have a little bit more leeway on the 2-mile run, and the older that you get, the less in points you need to gather per push-up or per sit-up. They give a little more leeway for a little more age. So as, for example, a 21-year-old compared to a 35-year-old is gonna be a little bit different grading, a little bit easier for the 35-year-old. Now, what you have to do is standard push-ups, standard sit-ups, standard 2-mile run, and that's all the old one is. Now that one is a little rigid, it's a little outdated. There isn't really as much muscle groups as could be tested, and that is why the Army wanted to change over to a new ACFT. Now the new ACFT is supposed to be more lightweight, more modular, more testing of multiple muscle groups to what is more simulated in actual combat and actual battlefield. Your sprinting, your throwing, your deadlifting, it's a lot more well-rounded, tested, and it's going to make the individual soldier a lot more stronger, and it's going to improve the fitness culture overall in the Army. And it's a lot more fun to actually do, flat out. I've actually done the practice tests. It's actually a pretty fun test. Now, what the actual events are is, as opposed to the regular standard push-up and the APFT, it is going to be a hand release push-up, which is pushing up, coming down, arms go out completely, and then you come up again. That is a lot different. It's a lot harder once you get more up in the more repetitions because of the releasing, and it's not a complete fluid motion. There's going to be a leg tuck, which is holding your hands on a bar and coming up with your knees, completely coming up with your abs to touch your elbows, pause, and then to come back down. That's the second event. The third event is going to be a standing power throw. That's a weighted medicine ball with both feet firmly planted on the ground, and you're throwing the ball up and over your head to see as far in meters as you can go. That's going to test power, that's going to test endurance, stamina, a lot of different things, a lot more well-rounded than just the standard. Now, another event is going to be the sprint, drag, and carry, and that is where you're sprinting over to get a weighted either a fuel tank, or they can be weighted dumbbells, like kettlebells. So it's just the standard of weight. Now, what you're going to be doing is bringing those back, dropping, and then sprinting back. After that, you're going to have a 3-repetition deadlift to max weight. Now, that's not just picking up the bar and coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down jaggedly. It has to be smooth motion. You have to pause as you come down and come back up, and that's where the difficulty comes in. You have to actually control the weight. And last but not least is going to be the 2-mile run. After all that is going to be exhausting and strenuous. So that is where the difficulty and the challenge of endurance comes in that I spoke of. Is in the old tests, you typically have many different people all on your platoons and your unit, and there's a lot of lines and you're waiting, so you get a lot of rest in between. The difference of this test is, as opposed to 3 events, there's 5, and so you have a lot more less line staggering than before, so you're going to be ran a lot faster and you have less time to rest in between. Now, if you've looked at these new tests, the ACFT, you can see that athletes, typical people, everyday people, they've tried these tests and they failed these tests. These are not going to be easy tests. And I can attest to, once you've been told to move from point to point to point in physical exercises, it does get very exhausting very quickly, a lot more quickly than what you would expect yourself. I've been burnt out within 10 minutes of physical exercise, depending on what exactly you're doing and how hard you're actually doing it. That's what matters. So I am excited about this new test. A lot of people are excited to get the changeover. It's kind of taking a little CrossFit with a little modern battlefield with a little bit of the old, and to make that new PT culture more fun, more energetic, more exciting, get more soldiers to actually want to engage more in PT. And like I said, I'm just excited for it, and I hope you learn today the old standard and the new. And we're taking the DIAG, the tests for the new standard, this month in June 2020 actually, and by the end of this year, this is supposed to be what will be tested on from here on out. So have a good day, and I hope you learned about the new Army's fitness tests.